What's up, everybody? My name is Juan Carlos with with the V3rmillion Missionary, and thanks for tuning in. I'll make sure the story is short and sweet so you can get back onto whatever you're doing on V3rmillion, whether it's making shit posts or responding to shit posts. Now, our first story of today is the marketplace. Obviously, we don't have a marketplace curator, so I thought I would tackle it. Now, there are two underlying problems in Marketplace, and I'll be just sprinkling my own opinion because why not, since I'm a Mexican. The first underlying problem here is BT. Now, if you've been on the site for more than 5 seconds, then you obviously know that iTunes has been patched. No more refunded Robux. And most, if not all of these, refunders, quote-unquote, are from Indonesia, shout out to my friend Miners, and they need to pay for their diapers. And with no source of income, they're obviously going to exit scam because, after all, nobody cares about V3rmillion. It is a Roblox Lego hacking website. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? DDoS? Ooh, scary. Docs? Even scarier. Nah, I'm just kidding. But there still is an underlying problem here, which is, the lack of checks and balances and disputes. And my problem here is that, when a scammer is actually, pointed out to be a scammer, it takes at least 7 business days for a moderator to actually respond. Now, there are two sides to the story. Firstly, you can say, oh, Juan, but they're volunteers. And I definitely agree with that. I'm not going to, cherry pick, one dispute over, the other ones. Obviously, the moderators are doing the best they can. They're not going to devote all of their lives to a Roblox Lego hacking website, maybe apart from Raccoon and Seg, because it's their main source of income. Just kidding. But the point still stands. IRGC, who was, back then when he used to be a marketplace moderator, geez, he was on fire. He actually was devoted to his quote-unquote volunteering job, but now he's just focused on demographically banning Mexicans because you can't speak Spanish in this forum, but whatever. The other really good moderator would probably be Season, and even though she's not online most of the time on the forum, if you send her a thread with actually decent proof, she'll probably take it down, and she'll ask both sides, which I think is really nice, to provide their evidence. And this brings me to my second and a half point, I guess, 1.5 if you want, which is disputes. And that is a hellhole. Jesus Christ. What is up with you guys? For back in my day, disputes used to be just, a friendly, quirky place where people just make, disputes about each other. It would get resolved in 20 days and everybody would be good. No. If I click on disputes right now, I can see 3 main things. Number 1, Flames accusing Sierra Echo of being a pedophile. Secondly, a lot of BT scammers exiting, and the people who have negative 26 reps saying, oh, but I thought he was vouched interested, because they can't obviously afford a $3 middleman fee. Shout out to Daniel and Daniel. But the thing with disputes is that without checks and balances, as I said before, scammers are going to take 7 to 10 business days to get banned. And plus, on top of that, if we only have one decent moderator controlling all of this, then basically they can just go on a scamming spree. I mean, take me for example. Tsunami sent me $25,000 and I could have scammed him. I mean, obviously I milked as much attention as possible, trust me. But if I actually hypothetically had scammed him, it would take the moderators at least 6 days to realize I'd actually done something huge. But I mean, I'm not going to cherry pick. They're obviously volunteers. And this goes on to my 3.5 point, which is normal sellers. Oh man, let's talk about it. So if you navigate to normal sellers right now, you can obviously see that there's a lot of BT being sold for obnoxious rates. Keep in mind that normal rates are 1.5 to 2. Don't let anybody sell you 3 because it's quote-unquote clean. Nothing is ever clean. If they sold a limited, then they're probably profiting too much off of you. Normal rates are 2 to 1.5. And JBB Group, when I first came, I did not know what the fuck that was. I took their vouch copy and you should probably buy it. It's only $30 for a month, and they basically tell you they basically tell you to go bet on Gamdom, and you just have to they basically tell you, oh, I think this team will win. So it's basically match betting with an 83% trial, or 83% winning rate, I'm not sure. So if you like gambling with higher percentages, take them up on it. And there is, let's see. There's someone with 4 reps selling Nitro for $60. There's somebody selling free Nike Stuff Method, probably refunds. Oh, never mind, they actually leaked it. A lot of people selling Hypixel Skyblock coins. What is that? There's a lot of account sellers. Wox is doing his League of Legends boosting service, and Borat's homework services. So obviously, pretty decent. Nothing huge has happened. Obviously, normal sellers are not going to see a lot of actual decent stuff being sold. Probably the only place we'll be seeing this is MMC. Yeah, only MMC, not RBX place, because 26, Yeah, most if not all are just going to send you a fake middleman impersonator link. Now, let's go to our second point of today, which is interviews. Unfortunately, Alex does not have a microphone. He uses a 2007 Toshiba laptop, so I took him up on the written interview, and I'll be just doing a voiceover with some sprinkled opinions throughout it. Alright, you guys ready? Obviously not, because I can't hear you, but let's do it. Firstly, let's talk about, Alright guys, so let's move on to our interview section. I actually took up Alex on his interview about his entire VM. If you haven't known or you've been living under a rock, the VM completely died. It spontaneously combusted and it broke down. My VM role had been stripped away from me, but then Alex came in clutch and revived it. So since Alex has a 2007 Toshiba laptop with no microphone, I decided to do a written interview, but I would actually read it out loud for you guys because I know you absolutely hate my voice. So, my first question for Alex was who's going to be the leader? I mean, there's a lot of hiatus going on. There's this round robin. It's Alex, Polo Field, and Killing Man 107. And there hasn't been a stable leadership ever since Raccoon, and Raccoon is too busy with being himself. So my first question was, who's going to be the leader of V3rmillion Missionary? And Alex says, quote, "While I have no comments on that at this time, he thinks it's very crucial that we determine a reliable means of finding suitable leadership that will not only commit to raising our standards, but we're pursuing additional ways to raise the expectations of our user group. The V3rmillion Missionary deserves that the level of commitment from its management and its inclination to provide full initiative in these regards. Nonetheless, while there must be someone to lead on, it's my interest to lower the needed time and effort to compile our additions to lower the likelihood of burnout. We are able to do this in a couple of ways, among which being that we split the responsibility among 3 compiler positions, and like I said, Polo Field on top, Alex on second, and Killing Man on the tertiary spot. And moving on, in doing so, we are alleviating the amount of work needed to satisfy compelling demands and thereby providing a better due process of getting our additions through the door. I would like to designate leadership separate from the positions we have for compiling, which those responsibilities, parentheses, provided that there are no favorable circumstances to do so, may not necessarily need to fall upon these tasks while leading the VM. It takes a certain amount of patience to find success in this area, but primarily, I want to establish management that will rely on success and efficiency as a team of leaders to get the job done. Whether it's in the concern of a leadership transition, membership approval, decision need be, or anything that should require an official opinion from the VM, it is in the business of this committee that will act as an overhead for the newspaper. And basically just a quick TLDR, because you have no idea what I'm talking about, what Alex is saying is that he needs to find somebody that's actually devoted, who will sacrifice their life to a Lego hacking forum. And obviously we had Raccoon, who lasted for 6 months, Vespertine, who lasted for 2 minutes, and we have Season, who lasted for who knows. And honestly, it totally makes sense. I mean, imagine actually nominating someone and then they just resign after 2 minutes. And it would probably suck. And honestly, it feels like quality over quantity for Alex. So my second question for him is that, do you truly believe that the Missionary will be able to reform and rebrand itself in the coming future? To which he responded with yes. And just a quick summary, he thinks that it's integral that every experience we see through as a user group, we take our time to find out what went wrong and what we can do right. And it's his gratitude that so many of his good friends have kept the encouragement and have continued to voice their opinions in a constructive manner, and it's the community who's actually helping Alex to make the V3rmillion Missionary a better place. Quote, "We will continue to improve on our vision of consistency and efficiency, and that the changes to be made, we will act on them to further advance our goals as a team." So, honestly, at this point, self-explanatory. I mean, Alex definitely thanks the community for this one. I mean, without them, we basically wouldn't be where we are right now. Even though we aren't scoring a lot of views, it obviously means that we should be doing something and we can target the problem and make it better. So my next question is, with so many members leaving the VM, does this mean that the VM's hiring standards have been decreased? And just some background information. When I had signed up for the V3rmillion Missionary in midsummer of 2020, I had 7 whole likes. 7. No, okay, you have to understand, 7 likes, okay? I had 7 likes, and Bloom shouted me out on Chatbox, which is pretty epic. And then they said no. Shout out to Raccoon for saying no. And then, after I made my satirical Verm alert, that got me this position, which, what? And then the person who actually took my World News spot did it for 2 weeks and then left. And I've been here ever since. So, suck on that, whoever that was. So, his question was actually, we want to see enough members doing the heavy lifting so that our essential segments have an adequate number of users to maintain our standards. With that said, it's very crucial that we take into account risk versus reward. And basically, there's this really big chunk of paragraphs, so I'll just summarize it. Basically, what he's talking about is that there's a lot of potential people, but it's truly about, should we take the risk of hiring this person, and should we really take the risk of, like, are they really going to, like, sacrifice a lot of their time towards the V3rmillion missionary? I mean, for example, like the recruitment thread got a complete makeover, looks really good. And the main key points is saying that, like, okay, if you want to enlist, basically you have to stop getting banned. And so, here, quote, we expect our members to put in anywhere from 30 minutes to 2.5 hours per weekend, depending on the workload of your section. Take me, for example. This is my 56th take, and I simply cannot talk at all. Second, we expect our team to avoid warnings from V3rmillion staff and other infractions that may come to result. Take me, for example. I was banned for speaking Mexican on site. Uphold a positive standing with the V3rmillion community with no outstanding disputes or concerns. Take me, for example. I had a dispute on me by Tsunami. Depending on the team obliged, candidates will have a choice to either become a primary or secondary manager. And basically, primary means you're a big boy, you're doing the leadership, and secondary means that you criticize the big boy and criticize them for every small little flaw they have. So my next question was, will the VM ever become the host for future competitions, with awards being able to be handed out? And what Alex responded to is that, like, he has no doubt that obviously, we can put our resources into a competition, something quirky, just like how Raccoon did this Uno, and then Subhub won, and then Subhub docked someone, and then he got a 3-month light tap on the shoulder. Like, what? Anyways, he thinks that it's a step toward doing more as a user group to help increasing engagement among the community, and it's very much the type of interaction that we would like to work toward. And, self-explanatory, obviously having, like, a V3rmillion Missionary award under my belt would be pretty nice. I mean, I have, like, 2.5. I could obviously do the pay-to-win trophies, but I don't think I can do that. So my next question was, in terms of popularity, in your opinion, why do you think views have gone down since the uprise of V3rmillion Missionary? For example, our last edition did not hit 1K views. And what Alex is basically saying is that what comes up must go down. And it's basically inevitable, and we're obviously going to be dipping lower than others, but that's okay. There's important values that contribute to the cycle of our newspaper, and if we can publish quality over quantity, then honestly it doesn't matter, like, how many people see it. What really matters is the fact that each and every single one of us tried. We put our heart and souls into the job, and it's a testament to how far we've come and how much further we can see ourselves go, and the belief that we have the power to appreciate engagement and contribution from the deeds of others, starting with the production that is the project of V3rmillion's newspaper. Now, my next question was, so that's basically self-explanatory. He just, basically, it's inevitable. We can't do anything about it, and it's important that it comes from the soul. Very wholesome. So my next question was, will blacklisted members ever come back? And, like, the top 3 are Detorius. Yeah, Detorius for shaking his ass on camera, on Chatbox. Then there's Bloom for being Bloom. And then there was some other, Reigns. There was Reigns. And Reigns couldn't do it because he's VIP. Detorius is completely blacklisted because he shook his ass on camera, and it took him 24 business hours to get banned. And Bloom has been unblacklisted because he is above the age of 12. Now, the reason for what Alex talks about for, like, will they ever come back is he says that, like, rarely can we come to expect blacklisted members to return, only through the discovery of new relevancies or interpretations that can a blacklist be overturned, but in general, it is intended to act as the final means to an end. That doesn't neglect the contribution the user has made during their tenure, but it does signify decision on behalf of leadership to prevent further ties in the future. So, also, as long as you get the job done, demonstrate good communication skills, and overall provide a reliable resource to V3rmillion's newspaper, you should never have to worry about the blacklist. More often than not, we are more eager to welcome those who have volunteered their time and are willing to do so again at any point they feel obliged to do so. And I can definitely relate with this. I mean, who would want to work with somebody who just shakes their ass on camera? That would really suck. And also, if you've been blacklisted, it's probably for a good reason. I mean, obviously, this is a Lego hacking forum. Don't take it seriously, but, it's a commitment that really matters for Alex. And obviously, it's not just his decision. It's like the round robin that decides. Now, And that was the end of the interview, and honestly, thank you so much to Alex. We gotta get you a new computer. Your 2007 Toshiba is not enough. Probably you should ask Akela Miners, Neon, Malone, whatever their Robux Shack was called. And that's about it. So thank you everybody for tuning in. This is a bit of a longer interview, but honestly, I'm glad I did it. It was really fun talking to Alex. I mean, he's a great guy. And you should sign up for the V3rmillion Missionary. Hey, we got money every 2 to 3 weeks. In payments in Ethereum, Bitcoin, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App. I mean, you should probably join. Plus, we got really nice people such as, not me, maybe like Polo, Walks, and also we got some new members such as Marciel and I Like Motorcycles. So it's really awesome. Honestly, I only joined for the user group, but hey, I'm still here, and it's almost my 1-year anniversary. So, thanks for tuning in. Don't talk Spanish in lounge, or else you'll get banned. Make sure not to exit scam, and hey, hang tight. Don't be toxic in chat box. Alright, that's all. Thank you so much, and goodbye.